or just?
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newlydeads.
Wait.
And it looks like we've got one of our familiars here, Shaggy.
We're very familiar with Shaggy. We've known him for over a year now.
And if you've been watching, you're familiar with him too, because he likes to yawn and make noises and do backbends. No backbends.
No backbends.
Downward facing dog. All sorts of fun things.
He is the parkour king if you ever come visit.
Yes. Yes.
But don't come visit without being announced.
Please. But anyways, today we're doing another show, like we always do, about a movie that we watched that we found at either the dollar store, Family Dollar, Salvation Army, the street, or in this case, where did we get it?
The Google Play Store!
I know you had to think about it, didn't you?
No, I just wasn't sure if you remembered, because I'm like, does she remember what we're doing?
Yeah, we're doing a Halloween jamboree. Is that what we're calling it?
You called it the October Spooktacular Showdown.
Yes, October Spooktacular Showdown.
This is week 1. Technically should be week 2.
Thank you. Yes, thank you to everybody who voted, because we actually had a poll going on Facebook. And we had a contest, I believe, that kind of went along with that.
And last week we announced all the movies that we're watching, and we announced our winner. They will have been notified at some point here after that episode airs next week. And after this, she's already talking about doing a Christmas thing.
Yeah. Did you say when were we announcing the winner?
It was announced last.
It was announced.
Yeah, we announced it last week during our episode.
The person.
But we'll let the person know the week.
Oh yeah, we did announce it. Yes.
Yeah, we'll let them know after next week because we want to, keep it under wraps until it's official and everybody knows.
I have short-term memory issues.
We work a lot of hours and put a lot of hours into this as well, and life is just.
I just want to do my best for y'all.
She does.
But first of all, happy October, because this is well into October at this point. This is our favorite time of year. What? Well into it. Yes, this is our favorite time of year. So every single day until well, I'm gonna say till like November 9th.
Jackie.
Right? I would say is a special day for us, because like even after even after Halloween, we celebrate like Dia de los Muertos, and we celebrate Samhain.
And Halloween proper is our wedding anniversary, and the 8th of every month, and specifically November the 8th, will be our 5-year anniversary as a couple, since we first went on our very first, since we first spoke. Then we went on a date a week later.
Yeah, but we consider that like our dating anniversary.
So 3 years, 5 years.
All the way up until the 8th, we like to, it's a happy, joyous celebration. And, honestly, it's always a little bittersweet. It's mono no aware or whatever, like Joel's tattoo says. Did I say it right?
Mono no aware?
Mono no aware. Yeah. Which basically means perfect and imperfect, sad, and, kind of melancholy, getting rid of like a season, but knowing that it's going to be coming back. That's how we feel this month. And we just wanted to celebrate it and commemorate it and do something fun. So that's why we decided to do the poll. And that's why we are going to talk about this movie that we watched.
So for this week, the very first film we watched was The Haunting of Witch House.
Witch House, yes.
And no, House of the Witch. Sorry.
House of the Witch.
House of the Witch.
The Haunting of the House of the Witch. No,
the House of the Witch.
Just the House of the Witch.
The Haunting of Murder House.
We had a lot of
houses. The last week's
Murder,
show.
Murder, House, Haunting, House,
Hill,
House.
Bly Manor,
Yes.
or something.
But also, before we keep going, I did want to mention that if this is Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, please come talk to us in the chat. Talk about Halloween. Let us know what your favorite traditions are. Let us know if you decided to vote in our poll. Come talk to us.
Let's swap recipes.
And if you like the idea of the poll, let us know. You can go to our website, thenewlydeads.com. You can also go to Facebook, where we are super active and chatty. You can message us there and say, yes, I think this is a cool idea. You should do it again. We were thinking about doing like a spooky Christmas movie kind of month.
Doing a Christmas thing.
Because like we celebrate all of the holidays, right? Like it's fun to celebrate holidays. I feel like life is too short to not celebrate the fun and celebrate the good. So, I feel like that would be a fun thing for us to do too, and hopefully you guys want to join us.
We could kind of do Thanksgiving, but there's a shortage of films there, and so that wouldn't really work. But
yeah, you could do
Blood Rage. Thanksgiving is coming out this year, so
he's very excited about that. Very excited. Eli Roth, right?
Eli Roth,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
anyways.
That is the long way around.
I like to do the long way around.
That's good. We want to make sure you know everything before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yes.
That way we can just roll on through.
I do the synopsis before we do the trailer, right? Since we don't have an actual physical copy, this was a Google Play purchase. $1.99. Shaggy's all worked up about it.
Watched it with us.
I'm going to
synopsize.
I'm going to do a synopsis. He is going to knock over your little guy here. Okay. It was Halloween Day, and the tricksters of the town decided to get together and pull some pranks. Little did they know that the house that they would be trying to pull the pranks on would be backfiring on them. One by one, each person that entered the home was never allowed to leave. And what lies beneath the walls and inside the interior of the home was something so terribly haunting that they thought that they would never escape. The end. Is that good? Something.
Good enough for jazz.
I am not good at this, like, off the cuff. You know what I should do? I should start, like, writing it beforehand.
I take some of the improv, the yes and out of it. But
I have very bad improv skills.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. I know you do. Yeah.
So now it's time when we get the assemblage of clips known as a trailer. We pull it up to the back of the loading dock, and like she just indicated, and then we dump the trailer out so you can just look at it as it's just spilling everywhere, and you can see what you think about the film. If you haven't watched it already, hopefully you're watching along with us by watching the films before we talk about them.
Yeah, because we're announcing them ahead of time.
Because you know way in advance, you've got time.
You do have time. And it is readily available on Google Play. So, and it's cheap because we don't watch movies that are expensive. Yep. At least not on this show.
And some of these might be available other places. I looked them up on the Google Play Store, but there may be other ones available. Maybe available to other locations.
Maybe.
Right.
YouTube.
So take a look there too. But anyway, trailer time.
Yes.
Boop, boop.
All right.
So what's up with this house?
My dad says it's haunted.
I'm telling you, nobody lives there. Hello? Oh, thank God. The cavalry has arrived.
You don't remember the old witch house?
It looks more like an estate. You said this place has been abandoned for decades?
Some crew tried to renovate it in the 80s and mysteriously disappeared.
It's creepy. That's why it's a good dare.
Oh, look at that. It's already unlocked.
something. I think we're just being pranked.
Come on, look around. There's nothing in the room but us.
You know what? I know what I saw.
Doors are jammed, windows are boarded up.
This house is haunted, and not like Scooby freaking Doo, man.
Boys!
No! Face us!
Rachel.
What did this you, man? The witch.
And we're back.
They're haunted.
We're haunted?
They're haunted.
House is haunted. House is haunted. Our pseudo-nephew, our like honorary nephew, is pseudo-nephew. Our honorary nephew, he's not actually blood related to us, is 4 years old, and he was just carrying this thing around over the weekend just saying house is haunted.
Because he loves Ghostbusters and...
Ghosts.
But anyway.
Yeah, so...
This movie has...
That's my new mantra.
A ghost and a witch that is a ghost.
And the house is haunted.
And it's haunted. So it's like a big old conglomeration of stuff, so...
Oh, he's got a big, long list of things.
These notes are extensively long. Some of the longest notes I've ever taken. There's a picture of a witch, a pumpkin, what I call a whoast, which is a witch ghost.
Whoast.
And then a lot of words.
Oh, kind of like her.
She's a whoast.
Ooh.
She was one of my favorite finds this year.
Whoast.
Not the favorite, but one of my favorites. But anyway, so should we dig into the things?
Yes, please. Tell us about it.
So this is from 2017, currently sitting at 4.2 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. Actually, on Google Play, it is sitting at like a 1 point something.
Really?
Yeah. This is directed by Alex Merkin, which right there, that should tell you something maybe. Who's also known for a film called House of Bodies, not to be confused with Bodies, 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 which if you've not seen that, great film. No Escape Room, get it? Instead of an escape room, it's a no escape room. And the classic Pups Alone.
Pups Alone.
Yep.
Okay.
It's about puppies. This was written by Neil Ellman, who did Sea Beast, the sequel to the reboot, I Spit on Your Grave 2, which all of those films are on the shelf. He also wrote Stormageddon, again with another Geddon to do with weather difficulties, Mongolian Deathworm, and I saved these for last because it ties in directly with us bringing it up in last week's episode and previous episodes. He's also responsible for Lavalantula and Lavalantula 2, Two Lava, Two Lantula.
Oh!
He's responsible for both of them. Yep.
You said that last week?
Yep, brought it up last week when we were talking about the Sharknado franchise.
No memory.
And we talked about all this spin-off stuff and all the how it's spawned this whole like.
Sometimes there's just nothing going on inside my brain, and I'm just like this.
Aww.
And just looking at how cute you are. He's cute. Anyway.
She's biased.
What did you think?
I'm not done.
Oh, keep going.
So this stars one Emily Bader, who you may recognize from Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, which we watched on our honeymoon in a ghost hotel in Gettysburg. I don't know if there were ghosts, but I'm going to say it because we were ghosts around Gettysburg. But we were in Gettysburg, eating pizza, watching that movie.
I remember that.
I
remember that.
See? And she was also in a movie called Anonymous Killer, which most killers try to be anonymous, I think. Not always. Darren Mann is the other person we'll bring up, who was the other one of the male stars. He was in an episode of iZombie. Weird.
Oh.
Come across that quite a bit.
I like that show.
He was in a film called Even Lambs Have Teeth, which I've actually heard of. And one that I just thought sounded interesting called The Minute You Wake Up Dead. Because...
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So at this point in the show, my wife turns to me and says...
What'd you think?
And I say, let's find out. So I thought it was funny in the beginning that they chose to go with this kind of, whenever the witch did her thing, this kind of stink cloud / smoking kills / tornado effect.
I didn't quite care for some of the effects that they were trying to come like. I feel like because it was digital effects. Yeah. I feel like they could have done better practical effects, and it would have come across a little bit less hokey. You know, it definitely took away from the movie, I feel like, because of the CGI kind of stuff.
I mean, they could have, for all intents and purposes, from the angle of the shot where the guy is in the door, he gets sucked into the house, basically, and then the door slams, kind of like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They could have just had her, like, shown her hands around his throat or his legs or something, pull him in from the side, and then slam the door, and you don't even see him actually.
Or even nothing. Like, if you just, like, had him being sucked into the house with nothing, you couldn't see what was doing it. I think that's more terrifying than, like, a cloud of fart.
Because, yeah, you see this big, like, twistery cloud, like, looping
and it's very, very fake.
Snaky,
yeah.
And it grabs his leg. And
very CGI.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Now, counterpoint to that, despite the questionable effects that were going on, the movie looks really nice. Like, it's well shot. There's some pretty well done scenes. The acting is above par. Like, I was sitting through the whole movie going, wow, I really hope this is good because it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Cinematography was spot on.
Yes.
For this kind of movie.
Bravo, cinematographer.
Takes place on Halloween, so it met one of our criteria for this month. So good on the search engine that I used. And considering on how old the whole storyline is, because they mentioned that the witch was drowned as part of... They don't say the witch trials, but they kind of insinuate that it might have been during the witch trials. Is how I felt.
They were saying it was like a long time ago, but they never mentioned Salem. They never mentioned... And honestly, Salem is the big witch trials, right? There were other
witchy
things. Yeah, and they're not even... I don't even know if they're in Massachusetts.
That part is never clarified.
So I know that there was other parts of, the world and stuff like that where they did things to people that they considered to be a witch or whatever. Yeah, they were going to drown her in a drowning pit.
Get out the drowning pit.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the house was in exceptionally good shape, though, considering how old it was supposed to be?
And they mentioned that. You remember that, right? They actually mention it. So it's...
Do they?
Yes. So to me, that is telling you that someone does live there. They just aren't alive anymore.
Which is weird, because if I'm dead, the last thing I want to do is keep a clean house. I just want to...
I mean, I don't want to live in a bunch of filth.
I mean, but the outside looks like garbage, so why would the inside... I mean, it's weird because there's
She can't leave the house.
True.
Oh, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of.
Debatable.
But there's like pots on the stove with food in them that is fresh food, so it's like she's hanging out cooking when people aren't there or when they are there. There's like a pantry with stuff in it. It's kind of weird. Like the witch actually does exist in this realm, but not really.
She's kind of like, well, and you got to think this is also Halloween, so like the veil is the thinnest, and they mentioned that too, I think, didn't they?
They did mention that. To circle back to the cinematography, they used some really clever angles, and if they just would have done better with the effects, like for example, and I didn't bring this up yesterday, but I'll see if you agree with me, but whenever you actually see the witch in full like makeup and like, because a lot of times she's kind of, in the background or smoky or whatever.
Yeah.
When you actually see her full on, does it look like she took some of the like Halloween spider webbing that you buy at Spirit or whatever
and just put it on her head?
It on her hair.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be spooky, scary.
Yeah.
It looked weird.
Yeah.
Weird choice. Just not at all would have been better than having it on there.
Yep.
Not a good job at the makeup.
No.
Also, what are the rules? Like, they don't really establish the rules very well.
Right.
Like, is she alive? Is she not? If you leave or if you come in, you can't leave. People outside can't hear you, but you can see them.
Parts of windows where you couldn't leave, and there was like weird goop on the outside of it. So it's like, are you in purgatory? And I didn't quite understand that part either. Like they were trying to leave, but then like some people did get out, but then they didn't get out, and it was very.
And she was inside and outside, and like she could like do all kinds of magical things, but she couldn't go through a door if it was closed.
Right.
But you could go under it if she went into like her, what do
mist.
You call that? Ethereal form? What is that? There's
mist.
a word for that.
She was like the dirt mist.
Dirt mist.
Dirt cloud. She was a dirt cloud.
She's like Pigpen.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was not much of an original concept, and we'll get to that when I tell you about the movie that I chose, because I've kind of seen this done before. It's kind of a mix and match plot, like, okay, we're going to take this aspect of this and this aspect of this, and we're going to make it into a witch ghost. Boom.
Yeah. And then you said that there was stuff that you read. Are you going to tell me about the stuff that you read that you thought that people had opinions on?
Yes. But before I do that, one more thing. What happened to the kid at the beginning? Like, they show what happened to the dude that went in the modern day.
Yeah.
But the kid that the story they showed to kind of establish the house is
haunted.
Yes. Now I'm singing the song in my head. The kid gets sucked in the house, and they never show, like, there was no dead body in the house. There was no, like, bones that we saw.
Wasn't there, though?
Was there? Was he there specifically? Somewhere?
Pots on the stove.
Yeah, but that was the new kid, I thought. Oh, no, he was in the basement. Oh, yeah, and she kidnaps people, too, and puts them in a cage. Why? I thought she just wanted them out, like she's...
No, she wanted...
I don't know.
She was collecting things. Remember?
There
was also people in jars.
True.
Right.
Okay. See, now I forget things. I did like the Game Over Man reference to Aliens. There was also, I wrote down really old sticks. I don't remember why I wrote down really old sticks.
Really old hay. Really old, you were saying he found some really old gaseline.
Oh, right.
And then a really old hay, and he needs to find some really old matches.
Yep.
Just set a really old fire.
Yep. Because the gas...
Oh, look, he found some really old gas. It's a really old hay.
Gas, if you let it sit out long enough, eventually is no good anymore.
Yeah.
Or it's not...
Most people know
less
that.
potent. But so if this gas was in there for a while, and again... who lived there after she was there and who had a gas can? I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions. But it works. It works. So, all right. I feel like other than the ending that they kind of stole from House of a Thousand Corpses, which also was taken from other films as well, was...
Run Rabbit.
I mean... Before I get to the thing that I thought of I found out before I started watching it, which didn't really taint my opinion of it necessarily, but it did. I did notice it in the actual film, like I could spot exactly what was brought up. So I feel like before I tell you, because I don't want it to taint your opinion.
Are we rating it?
Let's do our rating, and then I'll tell you what I found out and see if it changes your rating.
Okay.
I think that's
where
I'm
fun.
headed with this. So.
You know my opinion on negativity for towards witches and stuff like that.
Yes, we are a pro.
All faiths, all religions, including including
whatever.
Paganism and yes,
as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
I also feel like to be a witch, you don't have to be practicing any sort of religion at all. So
plus they get a bad rap. So.
Correct.
Yeah. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, you believe whatever you want to believe and be your best self.
Yes. And so I don't like it when they show them in a negative light, and that's like most movies, right? They're always like showing the witch as being evil and, gonna kill people and whatever. So it always kind of gives me whatever. But It is a film. It's supposed to be for entertainment.
It's an entertaining film.
Whatever. So I do like how how it ended.
You did?
I did.
Oh.
I'll tell you. I mean, I can tell you why later because I don't want to ruin it because I want people to maybe watch it.
I don't know how I felt about the ending.
I didn't at first, but then I was like, nope, I like that.
I mean, it was the only part that was maybe a little different from what I was expecting from the cut and paste storyline.
Yeah. So I would say I'm going to give it out of 5.
5 what?
Old piles of hay.
I hope that's where she was going.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm giving it 1 just because of the cinematography. The rest of it, the storyline was just, and the special effects were just not great. And I didn't really care about anybody in the film.
I didn't really care about anybody much either, but I didn't fall asleep.
Yep.
I liked the cinematography.
Yep.
The acting was all right.
Yep.
And it's better than Dead Sea or whatever it's called.
Yep. Dead Sea, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is like 75 was the cinematography and 25 was the acting out of that one. So what I found out before we started watching the film was that this was a TV movie.
I kind of figured that.
They had spots in the one that's on Google Play. They had commercial spots. There weren't commercials, but there was breaks. Like when the kids are egging the house, there's a break. And then it went back to them walking away. You know how when you watch a movie and or a show and there's a commercial, and they show the kids like about to walk away from the house, and then they cut to commercial, and they come back, and then they start like right before they walk away, and then they walk away. So
I feel that makes it a little better, in my opinion. Then for it being a TV movie, that's a pretty well shot TV movie, and like, you know what I mean.
That's what I thought, because I was expecting something on the lower end, and I was pleasantly surprised, and so.
Yeah.
I thought it ended up being kind of like I don't think it would have changed things if I didn't know, although I might have given it a better mark maybe if I found out after the fact, just because it was so well done for what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know where it aired, but it was definitely a TV movie. If you choose to watch it or you've watched it, you'll see the spots.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if they don't want to watch this movie, which I feel like give it a go if you want to. What did you recommend?
Like give it a go.
Give it a go.
Like, go. Like you're speaking Welsh.
Yeah.
For all of our Welsh viewers out there, hey. So what I decided to go with was a film that has a very similar premise, but that doesn't involve witches or ghosts. Was 2011's Grave Encounters, which we've watched together. There was a sequel. It was a low-budget movie about a paranormal investigation group that goes into an old asylum to investigate and find out that they can never leave. The doors are permanently gone.
Yeah.
No matter where they go, there's no way to escape.
I remember that movie.
All sorts of ghosts that have big jaws that go and get mad at them and murder them and chase them. And it's very effective. Like, I legitimately, the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really well done. The sequel is decent. And it's the same premise. You know, people go in and then they can't get out. Or can they?
Right.
So, check it out. Low budget, well done.
And then what are we watching next week?
Next week, for week 2, as we announced last week, for those of you who weren't there, we'll tell you now, because that way you can watch it ahead of time and join us in the chat to talk about it. Next week we are watching 2009's Stan Helsing, which when I found the film and put it into the queue, I didn't realize what it was, but we'll talk about that next week. But it does meet our qualifications.
It does? I think it's a comedy, right?
It. Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like a comedy.
$5.
It's a comedy, but is it a still spooky themed, right? Stan Helsing, Van Helsing, right?
It's a horror comedy, yeah. We'll leave it at that.
I like horror comedies.
We'll leave it at that.
Do you like horror comedies?
I do.
We'll just leave it at that?
We'll leave it at that for now. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay. All right.
So if you want to reach us, talk about any of these things that we've discussed, or you want to just, send us a fun little message.
Or say hi to Shaggy.
Oh, yeah, you can say hi to the dogs, too. Or send pictures of your dogs to show our dogs.
We would love that.
You can show them on the show if you'd like.
Oh, my gosh. We should start doing that. Send us photos of your animals, and we will show them at the end with, potentially a fart noise.
We'll do
or not a fart noise.
Freaky familiars or something. I don't know. We'll come up with a better name.
Yes!
Fiendish familiars.
If you guys are interested in that, please send us photos
Contact at thenewlydeads.com. Put that right there so you know right where it's at. Or find us on Facebook. You can send it there. Image quality is... Send
us your dogs in their Halloween costume, or your cats, or your iguanas, or your
whatever you got.
Fish. I don't know.
Yeah, today is
guinea pig.
Jack and Crazy Fish, our Chinese algae eater. It's his 9th birthday. So if you have a fish and you can dress it up, send us a picture.
Yes, do that, and then we will put it on at the end of our episodes.
Or it's somewhere, I don't know. We'll find a spot. We'll
Yep, and then we'll give your dog or cat a woof out or a meow out.
Boof.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. We hope you are having a fabulous October so far, and you're celebrating every spooky day. And we appreciate you watching us. And until next week,
keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
are you going?
I'm gonna finish this.